Hi everyone, guys, thanks for joining me again. So this video is going to be very difficult to navigate. I've just seen news that an 11-year-old boy has been arrested. Now, let me first caveat this by saying, because I don't want this video to be misrepresented or miscommunicated. Going out and causing violence, causing trouble is, it's not going to benefit anyone. It's not going to benefit you. It's not going to, it's not going to benefit your cause. What you need to do, if you're one of these young lads who are thinking about, going out and doing whatever, you need to be smarter. You need to be 10 times smarter than anyone else in your peer group. Yes, of course, as a young man, you need to be stronger, fitter, faster. You need to have endurance. You need to keep going when everybody else wants to stop. You need to be the one that's leading. But you also have to be the smartest. You have to be the one that can articulate your points and get them across. Otherwise, you will just be labeled as a thug and you will be discarded. And what I'm really worried about at the moment is a militarization of what people are calling the far right. So that's just, the pretense of this video. Now, I've done a lot of videos about the riots that happened in Rotherham, and I said straight away, if you've not seen my video, guys, I did a video and I think it got almost 1 million views. I talked about the riots, and then I talked about something I'd never seen before, guys. And if you remember me talking about it, or you've seen that video, I'll try and get Sarah to message it, to send it me on. I'll try and get Sarah to send it me. I'll try and upload it. But I've talked about this quite a lot. I've talked about the young men I saw. And I saw a group of angry young men. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think anybody else noticed it. I've not seen any commentator notice this. Not one of them. I've noticed this because of my experience, my background. I've been in the military. I used to, I've been on the riot shield. I've been sat in a van with a video camera trying to watch people, trying to identify them, then going on a snatch squad and trying to take those people. So I understand how this thing works. I've never seen that demographic of young white men so angry. And they are kids. These kids were absolutely fearless. And they were angry. And if we don't address what's making those kids angry, it reminds me of the poem by Rudyard Kipling. It's called The Beginnings. And then somebody else did another poem called Wrath of the Awakened Saxon. Now, I'm going to read it to you, guys. I'm going to read it to you in its entirety, but we need to understand the word Saxon and what Saxon means first. So just a quick search. Why are British called Saxons? Before the 8th century, the most common collective term for the Old English speakers was Saxon, which was a word originally associated since the 4th century. So Saxon's an old, it's an old name for, people of this country. Not with a specific country or nation, but with raiders in the North Sea and coastal areas of Britain. So I think that's a very apt name, Saxon, I think. So I'm going to read this poem to you guys and just tell me if you think it fits. I'll put the link in the description, of course. It's not a long poem. It was not in their blood, it came to them very late, with long arrears good to make, when the Saxon began to hate. They were not easily moved, they were icy, willing to wait, till every count should be proved, ere the Saxon began to hate. Their voices even low, their eyes were level and straight. There was neither sign nor show when the Saxon began to hate. It was not preached to the crowd, it was not taught by the state. No man spoke it aloud when the Saxon began to hate. It was not suddenly bred, It will not swiftly abate. Through the chilled years ahead, when time shall count from the date that the Saxon began to hate. And what I feel we're getting at the moment, guys, with all that's happening, to our country at the moment, and guys, you know, I'll be honest with you, I'm not blowing smoke in my own, blowing my own trumpet. I've not heard anybody else mention these young kids. We're getting a generation now who have real hatred, and they do, guys, you know. And like I said, if we don't address this as a nation, if Keir Starmer doesn't understand this problem, then when these kids come of age, when these kids become, you know, because they'll see these things and they'll remember, and they're at a very impressionable age right now. You know, I think Vladimir Putin, guys, and this is slightly off topic, but I think Vladimir Putin was 9 at the Cuban Missile Crisis. And that shaped him. It did. If you look into Russian history, if you look into history, you understand cultures, you understand how these things work and what makes people tick. I always like to figure out how people tick and what makes them work. And usually their childhood affects them. In fact, in all cases. That shaped Vladimir Putin. Now he's turned into a monster. He has. And I'm concerned that we are brewing a generation of monsters. Now, I don't know how this is going to turn out, you know, for better or worse, but we really are brewing something. You know, because when these kids, when they grow up and they organise, people don't understand that the British military have the best military because we can work together as a team. And when you work together as a team, you're greater than the sum of your parts. And that's what I figured out from working in various militaries, training militaries all over the world. Lots of militaries, they want to be, you know, everybody wants to be a sniper, everybody wants to be recon, everybody wants to be blah, blah, blah. But in the British military, everybody just does their job and works together and to achieve a common goal. That's it. You do your job, you concentrate on your part, you trust everybody else is going to concentrate on their job, do their part, and then you achieve your goals. If we have a situation now where these kids, when they grow up, if they organise, and like I've said, you know, I've said for quite a while, I said we're running the risk of a militarization of what people perceive as the far right. And once that happens, guys, we're going to have a situation in the United Kingdom, and we're seeing the sprouts of it now. You know, we're going to have a situation in the United Kingdom where we're going to have like Northern Ireland, but the whole of the country, and you're going to have so many different, you know, so many different faction groups fighting against each other, and these guys don't like them, but they've had an alliance with these guys, and these guys, it's going to be absolutely wild. If we can nip this in the bud now, and the politicians can understand the problems, we can deal with this now, and it doesn't have to be like that. You know, we can move to broad sunny uplands. But the reality is, I don't think that's happening. And what you're seeing now is the seeds of this to come. We really could be brewing a monster generation. And, you know, it leads me to the thing where, you know, the good strong men create good times create weak men create bad times create strong men. So this is what we've got at the moment, guys. All right, and I reiterate what I said at the beginning. Going out and causing, you know, this violence, it doesn't help your cause. You need to be smarter. You need to be able to articulate your points and beat people at an argument. And of course, you always need to be stronger. You always need to be fitter and faster. All right, that comes with training. That comes with fitness. And it's always good to walk into a room and look around and say, "Dude, I'm the best. I'm the most badass in this room." you know, and a lot of kids have. I think a lot of kids miss that, and a lot of kids don't have that because they play on Nintendo and stuff. But we're seeing a generation coming up now that's that could be really, really, really wild, fearless, and have a lot of pent-up aggression inside them. Guys, that is it. I just wanted to get that quick video out there because, you know, this 11-year-old, well, let's talk about the 11-year-old boy, actually. So I'll just read it off the, I'll just read it off this, guys. It's from the Daily Mail. Child 11 becomes one of the youngest people to be arrested over riots sparked by the Southport stabbings. An 11-year-old child has become one of the youngest people to be arrested over the, like I've just said, in disorder in Middlesbrough. Cleveland police confirmed it had arrested 14 people aged between 11 and 43 after it sent out 10 teams from its headquarters early on Wednesday morning. So, you know, you can see what's happening now, guys. And, you know, I just hope the government can understand what's happening in this pot that's boiling right now. I don't see that the government understand the problems that people have in the United Kingdom. There's nothing that I can see that says to me, okay, the government here, they understand what's happening and they do it and they're taking steps to rectify it. What I can see is the government are misunderstanding what's happening and they're doing the wrong things to deal with it. And guys, this pot that is boiling, boy, is it going to go. Guys, that's it. Anyway, I'm going to leave you now. I'm going to mag to grid. Remember what I've said, don't cause trouble. Guys, I'm going to mag to grid and I'll see you guys later.